For example, Admiral Peary on his way to the pole in 1909 sighted land, a mirage of land northwest of his trek to the pole from Ellesmere Island, northern Canada. Now, there's a whaler named Captain Keenan that sighted this same mirage of land northwest of Harrison Bay, Alaska. And the Russians have sighted it north of the New Siberian Islands. So, and then Olaf Jansen, he sailed northeast of Franz Josef Land. So what I have done, I've triangulated the directions in which this mirage of land have been sighted and estimate that the North Pole opening is located at 84.4 north latitude, 141 east longitude. And we are taking these gyroscopes that will help us to detect the dip into the Earth as we start to go into the polar opening so that we can find the 90-mile wide neck.
Sounds like a pretty interesting expedition. And I got to tell you, Rodney, I'm not sure about the hollow Earth theory yet, but I do believe that you're convinced that it's there, and you speak with a conviction that, you know, I think you believe you're telling the truth, and I think that's important.
Well, you know, I'm a very religious person. I've discovered a lot of historical and scientific evidence for a hollow Earth, but my main conviction is based on my religious beliefs. My analysis of the scriptures indicate that our Earth is hollow because that's what the scriptures describe when describing the spirit world of this Earth. The location of hell is here among us, and down in the shell of the planet is where Satan and his angels are, here to tempt us.
Hold on now, hold on. Let me ask you some questions about that. I thought the people who were in the hollow Earth, the people, were pretty enlightened people, good people. Is that true or false?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Olaf Jansen described the people of inner Earth as North European-type peoples that have blonde hair or red hair or brown hair, blue eyes, very tall, very educated, highly advanced in the sciences, and in music, very, very musical people.
All right, so
and also very friendly.
Where does Satan then and those evil spirits come from in terms of being in the hollow Earth? What did you mean by that?
Okay. The spirit world, this Earth has a spirit body, just like our bodies have a spirit inside of us that give us light, give us life. This Earth is a living being. It has a spirit. The spirit world is the spirit body of the Earth. The scriptures describe the spirit world as a hollow Earth. And the location of hell has to. The scriptures describe the spirit world as having two separate locations. One is the location of the evil spirits, and the other is the location of the righteous spirits. The righteous are in what they call paradise, and the evil spirits are in what is called hell. And the scriptures also describe them as being separated by a great gulf. In the book of Luke, Abraham is up in heaven with the poor man, and the rich man's down in hell, and he says to Abraham, "Send me down Lazarus because I'm burning up in hell down here." And Abraham says, "I can't, because between you and us there is placed a great gulf that makes it impossible for us to go there and you to come here."
Well, right? I've always believed that the planet is alive. I think it heals itself. It fights back to heal itself. I've never thought of it, though, as having a spirit like we have it, though.
Its spirit, our spirit, the spirit of our bodies looks just like us, but it's made out of an etheric substance that is very thin, okay, but is also eternal. It will never die.
2 years ago, Art interviewed a fellow by the name of Dallas Thompson, who was a hollow earth researcher. He was planning on journeying to the center of the earth in a mini helicopter, believing that he would be able to travel by a hole in the South Pole through the hollow earth and out through the hole in the North Pole. He claims that the holes into the hollow earth really exist and that monks regularly travel through the holes in order to visit a Tibetan village called Shambhala. Are there other people, Rodney, though, that are trying expeditions or want to do what you are doing?
Yes, we have had several of the people that have joined our expedition that have said that they have been planning an expedition of their own and just decided to come with us because ours seems to be the most well-planned and safest way to go. Like I said before, Jan Lamprecht of South Africa had been planning an expedition to go up and look for those mirages of land seen in the Arctic, but never was able to get enough contributions for his expedition.
If there was a submarine that was deep in the ocean and kind of went into the curvature of the hollow earth as well, would they know they were in there? I mean, at what point would they realize there's something wrong here?
They could detect if they're going in the polar opening if they're using a gyroscope. The gyroscope is an instrument that has a spinning wheel that, like, what we're going to do is at the North Pole set it at horizontal, and then as we go south on the 141st meridian, as we go into the polar opening, that gyroscope will maintain its original orientation in space, and so it'll start looking like it's dipping up. And we can also use that to help us find the polar opening, because if we go in, down, in, and then come back up, because we're not going straight down into the neck, the gyroscope will detect when we get down to the bottom of the dip and start coming back up. So then we just turn around, go back down to the bottom of the dip, and make a right-angle turn, and then it will take us straight in.
Assuming you're correct, Rodney, at what point would you start to see, as you go into the curvature and down, at what point would you see the inner sun?
About probably less than a quarter of the distance in, you would see the inner sun. And
how far would that be, roughly?
Well, I estimate it to be about 500 and some odd miles from the North Pole.
So not a lot of miles here. So you would get there, and this cutter, this Russian cutter, goes how fast? How many knots?
It goes about 12 knots through ice and about 19 knots through open ocean.
19 open ocean. So it could take you another 30, 40 hours, I think, once you're in the curvature, to be able to see the sun.
Yeah, our itinerary is that we will start from Murmansk, Russia, where's the port of these nuclear icebreakers, and it's about 1,000 miles of open ocean before you start to get to the ice, just north of the Franz Josef Land, and then another 400 miles to the pole, and then we would have another 500 miles of ice as we're going in the polar opening before we get to open ocean within the polar opening, and then we estimate another 500 miles to the inner continent.
We constantly hear about scientists down at the South Pole working on something. I don't know what it is. Is it possible it's this? They're working at the opening of the hole?
Oh, yes. This is world top secret. Our government knows all about this. There's certain elements in the military that are charged with exploration and study of the hollow earth, but it is considered a world top secret. They don't let any of it out. But I do have an interesting email on my website, if you'd like to read it, from a member of my church that says he knows several military men that have seen the South Pole opening.
All right, how do I find that email? And I can read it on the air.
On my new items link,